Feast your eyes on the next Galaxy Watch Ultra. Reliable leaker Evan Blass sent out these pictures ahead of Samsung's July event. I can hear your thoughts. You're thinking, hey Iyaz, that looks a lot like the original Galaxy Watch Ultra. Tell me more so I don't have to read dozens of articles. Okay, I'll tell you more. These images look like the real deal to me. Evan Blass has an excellent track record, especially when it comes to Samsung products. In case you're not familiar, the original Galaxy Watch Ultra arrived in 2024. Samsung touts it as the toughest Galaxy Watch ever. It looks like a standard Galaxy Watch with a round display, but with a big, chunky titanium case around it. The Ultra is built to survive the extreme low pressure of high altitudes up to 9,000 meters for when you're climbing or levitating, and it has a water resistance rating of 10 atmospheres of pressure, meaning it can handle surface swimming and water sports. On top of that, it meets military standards, particularly MIL standard 810H. If you want to know more about that kind of thing, I'll explain later. So, the Watch Ultra is like Samsung's Super Watch or Apple Watch Ultra competitor. The Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 shares a common design with the Galaxy Watch Ultra 1. Let's put the original Galaxy Watch Ultra and the leaked image up on the screen right now, together. The hardware looks almost identical, but take a look at the ring around the watch face. Samsung calls this an index deco. The original Ultra, it has the inverted triangle at the top with hash marks around the bezel. The Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 also has that inverted triangle, but this model has some numbers. Some reports say the bezel is smaller than before, but it's pretty hard to tell. Looking at the side buttons, Samsung's dropping the accent color marks and the ring around the center button. The Ultra 2 has an orange ring on, not around, the center button instead. And if you look real close, you'll see that you should share this video with everyone you know and subscribe to PCMag's YouTube channel. Now, there is a lot of information hidden on the back of the watch. Again, let's put the original up with the new one. Both cases are 47 millimeters, which is a pretty large device. For context, take a look at this picture starring PCMag's Andrew Gephardt. It shows the size difference between the Galaxy Watch Ultra and the Apple Watch Ultra 2.
Hey, that's me. Neat.
Andrew's a big guy, but both still look massive. Back to the watches. They both use sapphire crystal to protect the display. This material is highly scratch resistant, second only to diamond. The downside is that sapphire glass is also relatively heavy and it does not handle impacts well. That means it cracks if dropped. Both models support 4G LTE and GPS, which is A-OK, but the Ultra 2 also carries EN13319 text. What could that possibly mean? Enter the 133,319 chambers of Wu-Tang? Or maybe it means that the watch is EN13319 certified like the original Ultra. That's the international standard for diving accessories. Looking at the original Ultra, you see that little black circular sensor on the left of the main sensor cluster? That's the infrared temperature sensor. The Ultra 2 does not have that same dot, but it probably has a similar sensor within. So if you didn't like the way the Galaxy Watch Ultra looked, you may not enjoy this refresh. However, there are some big things happening inside the Ultra 2. According to Ice Universe, another highly reliable source, the Ultra 2 screen should reach up to 5,000 nits. What's a nit? Just consider it a brightness unit. The original Galaxy Watch Ultra's display reaches 3,000 nits, but you should know that nit measurements are not linear. The difference between 3,000 nits and 5,000 nits is not a 66% jump in what you actually see. Because of how our eyes process light, it's more like a 15 to 20% increase in actual perceived brightness. So the Ultra 2 should be brighter than the Ultra 1. You should be able to see the screen even in direct sunlight, assuming there's no glare. Calling upon my telepathic powers, of which I have none, I can hear you say, Iyaz, with a screen that bright, that watch's battery life is gonna be a dog turd. Well, not so fast. Samsung could use an on-cell film OLED screen in the Ultra 2. By removing one layer in the display assembly, the polarizer, the screen transmits more light to your eye. That also means that this on-cell film screen requires less power to get as bright as other screens. Samsung Display says its third generation on-cell film OLED reduced power consumption by 37%. So we've got a brighter display that uses less power than before. What about the battery? Sam Mobile reports that the new Ultra packs a 784 milliamp hour battery. That's about a 33% increase over the original Ultra's battery, 590 milliamp hours for completeness. Speaking of power, GSM Arena reports that the Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 will use a Qualcomm Snapdragon Wear Elite chip. It is designed for personal AI and is supposed to be very power efficient. It also allows for quick recharges. But the Wear Elite chip also adds 5G RedCap connectivity. The leaked image we saw, says the watch has LTE inside. A report from Galaxy Club says the Ultra 2 will support 5G in the US, but Europe gets the 4G LTE model. Thanks to Phone Arena for highlighting this. What's 5G RedCap? It's short for 5G reduced capacity. It's meant for devices that don't need blazing speeds, so they receive and transmit data at lower rates. So why not stick to LTE? Because RedCap gives you the power efficiency and the stronger connections of the modern 5G network without the cost and battery drain of a full smartphone 5G modem. Put it all together, the new screen, the bigger battery, and the new processor, we could be looking at battery life in terms of days. With all of these improvements, are you interested in getting a Galaxy Watch Ultra 2? Let me know in the comments. When it comes to any smartwatch or anything, I have a hard time justifying spending money. What's the Ultra 2 going to cost? Stick with me. Samsung also recently announced a big update to Samsung Health, and the new Galaxy Watches should integrate tightly. The new Health app tracks your heart rate, skin temperature, blood oxygen, cardio load, fitness index. Basically, if your body's doing a thing, Samsung is measuring it. And once it has all that data, it'll analyze it and spit out a full report on your health, at which point you can take a long, hard look at all the life choices that brought you here. You know, sometimes I wonder if quantifying our lives with data is better than just living, but what do I know? Also, it appears there will not be a new Galaxy Watch Classic. That's the one with the bezel that physically rotates like a lazy Susan. Could that rotating bezel make its way to the Ultra 2? I hope so. Then again, adding moving parts introduces new points of failure, and that's saying nothing about the manufacturing process. So what will the Ultra 2 cost? Well, that information has not surfaced, but you can get the current Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra for the ultra low price of $649.99. With all of the improvements and world events, the Ultra 2 could see a price bump. How big a bump? Like this? Big? Speaking of big, Samsung is in big legal trouble thanks to its watch business. Swatch sued Samsung. Why? Swatch says Samsung allowed digital replicas of Swatch watches on their Galaxy watches. How is that big trouble? Swatch is seeking $170 million in damages. In a court filing, the CEO of Tissot, a Swatch brand, said if this were allowed to continue, quote, it would kill the value of the fine Swiss watch. At the time of this recording, the case was still ongoing. Anyway, we are very close to the new Galaxy watches. When they're out, PCMag will test all of them. Oh, that means more pictures of Andrew's wrist. I'm Iyaz Akhtar, and I'll see you inside the green bubble. Here's the thing about MIL standard 810H. Samsung says the current Ultra meets MIL standard 810H. That's a US military durability standard. Sounds impressive, right? Here's the thing. No governing body is checking that claim. Samsung picks which tests to run out of 28 total. How do we know which ones? In footnote 5 on Samsung's current Ultra product page, it says, and I'm reading this directly, high low temperature, altitude, humidity, immersion, salt, fog, dust vibration, drop, etc. etc. in a footnote about a military standard. So MIL standard 810H on a watch means tougher than your average watch. It does not mean it's as tough as a cockroach. If you want to know even more about this MIL spec, the US government has an 1,100-page document you can look over. Enjoy!